we were attacked because that's generally the most vulnerable part of a patrol, right when you get there and right when you leave. And unfortunately, the first missile that was fired, the first RPG that was fired, missed me, missed my staff sergeant, and impacted the crowd of small children that were next to us, and quite literally tore them to pieces. When the half under me was unsuccessful pursuing our enemies, we came back and we assisted in sort of the securing the school area, setting up security around it so that if we were attacked again, we'd have a better chance of preventing further injuries. And sure enough, and we knew this would happen, we stayed there for about 15 or 20 minutes before an ambulance showed up. Rising ambulance showed up. We were attacked, which we knew would happen. And this time the rocket hit a light post right next to one of my Marines, and he was grievously wounded, and he later died in Germany. That was what happened. So he died guarding a group of wounded school children, which I think is probably as good of a way of any to go if you have to, But I wish I could have taken his place. I wish it didn't happen, but it did, and so you live with it.
Yeah. At the very end of your book, your last chapter, which is appropriately called Tired, you talk about how you and your men paid respects to Bolding's family back in the States. Can you tell me about that day?
All I really wanted to do was take in the service and maybe say hi to Mrs. Bolding, and I had a few things to say, but everyone sort of lined up in my platoon. They lined up to meet her and to pay their respects, and so I was sort of one of the last in line because I was behind the platoon again. And by the time I got there, I just couldn't say a word. None of the things I had prepared seemed at all relevant, and I just broke down crying basically, and just kept saying that I was sorry. I can't remember if I said, I did my best or anything, but I just remember saying, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Couldn't bring your son home. It's my responsibility, and I accept that. And she just hugged me, and that's pretty much all I remember about that.
You end your book with that story, and sorry.
Oh.
And you write that you felt some measure of absolution after that. Can you tell me about that?
Well, when you're an officer and you lose someone, it's always your responsibility. It may not be your fault, but it's still your responsibility because he was yours. And you know that he has a mother, in this case, he has a wife. You know that it's your job to do your best to bring him home and to bring him home better than when you found him. So when I saw his mother, and his mother just sort of hugged me, I felt that, on some level, she sort of forgave me for not bringing her son back. And I don't know whether she said, I forgive you or not. I just remember she didn't slap me, or she didn't push me away, or she didn't say, why couldn't you bring my baby home to me? She just hugged me. And so I felt, okay, well, he was mine. He was my responsibility. But his mother seems to think that it's okay. So maybe it is okay.